Good day, you lovely lot. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're doing well. So I was thinking to myself the other day, I got that Silver Surfer, or to give him his proper name nowadays, Silver Sulphur, because he stinks. He stinks. Oh, stinky. Yeah, let's face it, not a lot of people are very happy with this champion build. Basically, I don't know if there was this kind of idea of hype, too much hype around the character, and therefore when a champion goes in, some of them failed to deliver. I don't know if people felt like that way. It seems very much the case, but the main scheme of this video is looking at synergies. And one thing that I wanted to test out, but I didn't get enough time with the CTP, is this one here with Hulk. All of Hulk's Fury buffs are passive effects and grant 100 bonus critical rating when striking a stunned opponent. Kind of helpful because a lot of the abilities in Hulk's ability is all about stunning, especially when dropping special attacks. 85% chance to stun the opponent for 2 seconds. The duration of the stun increased by 1 second for each Fury buff's effects on the champion that it has. Okay, now let's explain the synergies that I've kind of like chose around it. So first synergy experimentation is this, and I do need to explain a few things. So we've got She-Hulk in, and the reason that we do have She-Hulk in is because the 20% Fury buff, duration and potency, very darn important. Also, obviously, like if you get a special attack, then having a Fury up is going to mean that will extend by one second. And sometimes it's like you will throw a special as I'm trying to perma stun, and it's just not working out. So it's handy to have that in. In any case, we've got Namor in here because of each member synergy increases the team's attack rating by 8% for as long as they are alive. Kind of helpful. People may say like, well, wouldn't it be better to have Nick Fury? And yeah, like I did try out with Nick Fury, and maybe it was a case of like, why we've got Black Widow in, and like I'll have to explain that in a second because it's applicable to the Silver Surfer synergy. But I just fancy putting Namor in as opposed to Nick Fury. I actually tried Nick Fury as an experimentation. Actually, funny enough, I did more hits on Winter Soldier than I did with Namor. So it's weird. I don't know if that's to do with number crunching or whatever. But yeah, Black Widow's in because of Avengers level 3, and as all champions gain a 25% chance to stun with each special attack. And again, that's important, even though you get 2 attempts to get a stun off a special attack. Inbuilt in the abilities with Hulk, which is the 85%, and then we've got an additional attempt at 25%. So if I hit the special attack and for whatever reason in the abilities that 85% doesn't come off, this is an additional attempt at 25% chance to stun. And that then goes hand in hand with Secret Defenders, in that Hulk's kind of exploiting that stun because of all of Hulk's Fury buffs are passive effects and grant 100 bonus critical rating when striking a stunned opponent. So that's the reasoning behind why I wanted to improve the extent of stun in this little experiment. So let's take it out for a spin. Anyway, let's take the champion out for a spin. Now I'm using a 4-star, rank 5 4-star version, and I'd love to say one day I'll be able to get a 5-star version, especially for videos like this where I'm kind of experimenting and kind of letting people know like, well, what damage it's doing, also what synergies are quite fun around it, what is also a good questing team. Because let's face it, looking at this team as it is with She-Hulk, with Hulk, with Namor, with Silver Surfer, and as well Black Widow, with a potential option of switching that out as for Nick Fury, that could be a really fun synergy and also grind team, especially for looking at content where you might want to perma-stun, you might want to damage output a bit more, and at the same time, all of the champions that are featured there are quite varied and quite fun. So yeah, that would be very nice. Anyway, down to the results of stuff. So if you can expect some major damage output and big yellow numbers, unfortunately you might be quite mistaken. At times you can put a good SP2 in and try and get a good amount of damage off of that special, but at times you're going to have to really watch out for Fury being up. If the Fury buff is on, then it's a case of smacking in the L2, and kind of at times, even as a 4-star, I was able to produce numbers of like, well, it's not a huge amount, in 9,000 in testing. But could other 4-stars do exactly the same? Potentially. There's a good chunk of 4-star champions able to put good numbers out on an SP2, and we all know what the capabilities of the charged up Captain America or Beardo is capable of. Silver Surfer's addition to this does really help out, especially considering the fact that yes, it does turn it passive, which, let's face it, if you're getting champions that interact with punishments of buffs, then it's a case of like, well, you know, it's cool for it to be turned into a passive effect. And as well, the fact that we get the 100 critical rating added on, which helps out. Obviously, hitting a stunned opponent does mean that if you're perma-stunning, which for me is a case of building up close to an SP2, smacking an SP1, and it's just a case of rinse and repeat. And you can do similar things with the SP2, maybe even that, maybe kind of going like build up SP2, build up close to an SP3, smacking an SP2, and then it's a case of putting in an SP1, and then just a case of rinse and repeat. It's up to you how you play it. The same way that you can do the same stuff with Ronan and interacting with champions with buffs. In any case, this was a fun synergy to play about with, but there is another one that I just want to play about with a bit more, and I think that may be quite good for damage output, and that involves Heimdall. Second synergy is up to bat, and this one here is more in keeping with what I was talking about previously with the first synergy. And the fact that having Nick Fury in is kind of important, keep him alive, and we get those Fury buffs increasing, which again is important for trying to get stun increased by 1 second, which is applicable to what we want to do. But it doesn't have Silver Surfer. It's kind of think like whether or not it would be an advantage to not have him into the mix. Does he create any kind of difference? Those kind of things. But Lost Daughters of Asgard, this is one of the key ones here. We want to increase the Fury damage or the base attack by 15%, which we're going to do there. And then we've just got Miss Marvel in, which is obviously just unlocking this contingency plan here. It's not really the most meatiest of synergies, and it's not specific as ones like She-Hulk are, as well as a few others as well. Also, I kind of did want to consider the idea of Thor Ragnarok, especially for Hulk becomes indestructible for 5 seconds when below 20% health. But it doesn't really help towards what we want to look at between stuns and furies. It's just something there to kind of help out the champion live a little bit longer, which, let's face it, based on the damage output we want to do, isn't really helpful for the situation. So let's take this in and kind of let you know my thoughts. Using this synergy, I managed to take down Winter Soldier in 475 hits. I did decide to take damage because what I wanted to do is get myself below the threshold, that 25%, in order to maximize the damage output and just try and get that Hulk Smash buff come up. And that would be the best point to kind of like do the damage output that I want to see. I want to see some big numbers. And yeah, I guess it was kind of there, but it's just one of these champions in shape and form of Hulk that, look, 5-star version of this would probably output some decent numbers. Suicide Masteries would of course give you some more meatier numbers. And obviously having 5-star versions of Hulk, Heimdall and Nick Fury may produce some decent stuff in going in difficult content like Act 6 and stuff like that. But it's still quite handy to take on things like Realm of Legends, especially if you are one of those people that would want to do something like permastun. Although if you were thinking of doing permastun, it may be worth really considering that as an option. Permastun works and it doesn't work. It works if you want to play very aggressively, but also understand the elements to creating power to then hit in the special to get stun and then continue that. If you're not able to rinse and repeat it and keep that up and you end up losing hit points, it can be like an expensive grind through going through the Realm of Legends, and there are better options than just saying, right, let's just do Hulk and the perma-stun method. Either way, it did exactly what it said on the tin, showed us that there is possibilities around this synergy. Silver Surfer does help out a lot, but not to the extensive amount of seeing big yellow numbers. And I'm still very much waiting for a synergy that's going to make Hulk a lot stronger champion. But I thought I'd just do a little video just to kind of showcase the points between one type of synergy and the other. But in any case, thank you very much for watching this video. And if you did want to check out any other content, please click some here. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye for now.